Reggie Haynes, welcome again.
I'm here, second one, and the last one was about a year ago, or over a year ago, when I was back in Africa. So, it's been so long, but I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, let's get right into it. Do you believe that people hate you because you are not a Christian?
You know what? I feel like, in all honesty, people dislike me because I don't believe in what they believe in.
Okay.
A lot of these people who I see them as people who are just controlled. They're controlled negatively, because anything that leads you to believe that if this person doesn't believe in what you believe in, they're an enemy. And I don't have that mindset. You know, I love my, as they say in the West, black people. I love my African people. I love my melanated people, the original people. I love them. So if you're dying, why would I treat you any different just because you don't have the same beliefs that I believe in? So I will say that there's been a lot of people who I've worked with. They pretend like they like me only to try to lure me in so they can end up controlling me and have me believe in the same things that they believe in. And I just realized, like, you know what, at the end of the day, these aren't people that's for me. You know, these are people who are obviously against me until I join them. You know, like the old saying goes, either you're with me or against me. So, yeah, I would say that there are a lot of Christians who, you know, dislike me. And it's just because I don't believe in what they believe in. And I try not to go into detail of why I don't, you know, believe in what they believe in, because I already know where that conversation is going to lead to. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of people that dislike me because of that. And those are people that I don't want in my life anyway.
Okay. Is it true that you hate dealing with certain students from your past that you've taught when you were volunteering in school?
You know what? Hate is a very strong word. Mm-hmm. I would say that there have been certain students who I will never interact with again. They contact me, they try to hit me up, whether they're in Africa, whether they're in the States, the UK, and I just don't respond to them. Their parents will try to contact me, which is a rarity, and I don't respond to them either. They know who they are. They know what they did. And I feel like there's a lot of people who try to play stupid. They always try to make it seem like, well, okay, deep down inside, I know what I did, but I hope Reggie doesn't know. And I'm going to try to, you know, check in with him to see if we're still cool. And it's like, if you're doing all of this, if you're like sneaking around or walking on eggshells before you approach me, then already you already know that you did something you had no business doing, right? So for me, I'm looking at it from a perspective of, there's a reason why when you contact me, I don't respond. And you know that reason. You are just too much. I hate using this terminology, but you're just too much of a coward to admit it. And I feel like that's what I've dealt with a lot, you know, whether it be a student, parent, teacher, you know, person who I've worked with. These are just cowards, man. They make a mistake. They don't take accountability. They want me to take accountability for stuff that I didn't do. Right? I had to watch myself because I know I was cursing in the last interview a lot. And it just got to a point to where it gets to a point, to where I'm just like, I'm done with all of this. Like, I'm just going to walk away and never look back. And that's what I do. So it's not that I hate students, teachers, parents, or whatever. I just, once I see who they really are, I just step away from them. You know, I'm not really a big, no, let me give you a second chance or a third chance. Nah, man, because, you know, fool me twice, shame on me, you know. So it's just, I would rather, you know, interact with people who I have people in my life who've never done anything remotely close to the snaky stuff that students, parents, and teachers and other individuals have done to me, who I no longer involve in my life. And those people who have always done right by me are the ones that I keep in my life. So yeah, hate is a strong word, and it's a word to where if I'm getting to that point, I step away from these individuals completely.
Got you. Tell us stories about your worst experiences while living in Africa.
My worst experiences in Africa, like my first week, I think I've talked about this on multiple platforms. There was a fight that broke out, and a dude wanted to fight me because he thought that I was trying to get at his girl or whatever. But it was because it was like a whole bunch of guys standing around, and none of them, you know, stopped this woman from getting her ass beat. Excuse my French, right? Or excuse my language. And the thing that really got me was after the fight, because it wasn't a fight. It was just him slapping things around, had a whole bunch of dudes trying to hold him back, other dudes. I hate to do this to the mic. Hopefully I'm not messing it up, but the dude was like pushing me away and stuff like that. And when a dude is doing that, if he ain't swinging off on you, he ain't trying to fight. And I learned that back in my football days. Because most dudes, I'm going to be honest with you, they ain't trying to fight you. They ain't trying to get their ass whooped. And another thing is, too, people don't know what you got. So when I was at this particular party, the people who I was rolling with did not like me. They saw me as, oh, man, we going to get this nigga, because you got to realize, too, there's a lot of people within the motherland, within the UK, overseas, who are outside of America, who even people within America who come from outside of America. They watch a lot of toxic programming. So when they see someone who is all about, let's show unity and stuff like that, the first thing that goes to their mind is, we going to mess this dude up. We going to mess him up. And they are toxically programmed, if that's even a terminology to use. They are toxically, they are programmed to think like massa wants them to. They don't deserve any respect. People that look like Reggie don't deserve respect. Treat them accordingly. And that's what happened at this party. It even got so bad to where the security guard said, get that nigga out of here. Right? But what really got me is that the dudes that were trying to fight me ended up calling the girl. Who is that nigga? Who is that nigga? Who is that nigga? Who is he with? Crying on the phone. Like, I'm hearing it. And it's not even on speaker, because the girl was sitting like 2 people away from me. And when we were driving back home, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's you got a lot of people, man, to where they're envious of you, jealous of you, and they fear you, which is a terrible combination. Because first of all, I don't live life in fear. I live life prepared, and I keep on moving. But at the same time, I don't like jealousy and envy, because I already know that that's a structure that is led people to be divided and easily conquered. So I don't partake in that. So my thing is this is, okay, if you feel that way about me, stay out of my life completely, and I'll stay out of yours completely. And that was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And then, of course, I worked and did work with, prophets and churches and people who were hypocrites, who were embezzling money when I tried to get them sponsors, and misusing and abusing me, and then going in their different chat rooms and saying, hey, Reggie Haynes, man, if you ever see him. And people already know who I am, not trying to be egotistical or anything. This is what I've seen. This is what I've been told by multiple people in different parts of Africa. Like, hey, man, Reggie Haynes is out here. So people are trying to find ways to misuse and abuse me. And you got these people from church, these Christians, talking about, hey, man, all you got to do is give Reggie food and a roof over his head, and he'll work with you for free. And that's the buzz. So once I started getting that, I said, no, y'all gonna pay me my goddamn money, because people around the world, they try to act as if they're broke, and they can pay you. They know your worth, but they treat you as if they don't. And then you got, different people in the industry who try to blackball you, news anchors, news platforms, well-known celebrities. You got females who try to, have sex with you, and they're in the entertainment industry, so they don't want you to succeed. So they want to control you with what they call it over there, nyash, which is a big booty, or their coochie or whatever. And it's just situations to where I'm like, you know what? I'm better off just being to myself, creating my own. And if I do bring someone in, it's going to be somebody who I trust 100%, not 99.9, 100%. And that's a rarity. But I know that I've done so much on my own to the point to where I really don't need anybody else. So even whether I'm in Africa, America, the UK, or whatever, I try my best to continue to work and do something productive every single day. So that way I don't have to fall under the control of someone who honestly dislikes me. So yeah, those are my worst experiences in Africa. The last one that I'll bring up is the week that my grandfather died. And there were rumors and students and teachers spreading rumors, trying to plot to get me really heated so I could leave. And I will say it worked, because at that point in time, this was the first week. Excuse me. This was the first week, the first time in history, from what I was told, that there were sports scouts that came out to the school. And people hated that I was the basketball coach. They hated that, that I was actually helping the school progress in sports and media. And next thing you know, man, people, they wanted to sabotage that. So it was the week that my grandfather passed away. People were spreading rumors, and I was in my office for that week. And I specifically told certain students who was like the leaders of the school, hey, can y'all please tell everybody don't bother me? Because every single day I was being bothered, like knocks at my door and everything. And then it got to a point to where a rumor started spreading around. And I said, man, I'm done with this. I'm done with this school. I'm done with this organization. I can't deal with it anymore, because we live in a world to where so many people, they're like, oh, Reggie, you got to put up with the BS. No, the hell I don't. No, I don't. Absolutely not. No, I'm going to walk away respectfully, and I'm going to move on to something better. And if that thing that I moved on to didn't work out, I'm going to definitely move on to something better. I'm all about progression, moving on from things that's not for me so I can move on to things that are for me. You know, and when my grandfather passed away and I couldn't make it to his funeral, and I'm helping my mom from afar, and then I'm dealing with, you know, these scouts, and I'm dealing with this rumor and all these different things that people are spreading about me, talking about. I'm talking bad about elders on the campus and talking bad about teachers, and I have to apologize for for stuff that I didn't even do. It's ridiculous. So I'm like, nah, man, I'm out of here, because it's a whole bunch of gossiping, and people who gossip are like the most lowest form of a human being that you could ever think of. Like, because gossiping involves lies. Gossiping involves not taking accountability. Gossiping involves, you know, spreading toxicity and hatred. And I know the times that I've been a part of that, I've been at the lowest, and I refuse to go back to that state. And I refuse to be surrounded by people who's trying to pull me down to that level.